Express service is a vibe. It has been growing in popularity. It is significantly important in retaining our customers. One of the biggest gripes for customers today is that it took too long to get an oil change. It shouldn't take 2.5 hours to get an oil change. You mentioned putting cameras on Express Lane and that you had targeted outside of service to sales as a repeat offender, and that there was something here that stood out to you as an opportunity.
The majority of your at bats are going to be express service. And um, it's critical because that's going to drive whether the customer returns to purchase vehicles, to give you the heavy service work, to
Absolutely.
buy the tires and brakes later. Are
That's
you
right.
your competition with Jiffy Lube, Pep Boys, Valvoline, the independents at some point in the life of that vehicle? That competition is going to be driven by a perception of that customer on express service experience at
Absolutely.
the door. And it is because of the volume and because of the number of moving pieces involved at the
Mhm.
dealership that don't exist at just a drive through independent service operation. It is a challenge to know what your best looks like and what your worst looks like. More importantly, what does the camera see in terms of your patterns of why, when those stars align, what has to happen for the best to happen, and what's happening when the worst happens over and over? Where can we adjust the process? And that's where the advantage is that the camera, the our application doesn't require any data input, the or tasks. The camera is the sole data source, and the
It's the
artificial
data
intelligence.
collector, right?
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
it's
Yeah,
literally
it's
watching patterns in the dealership, um, and it's logging and reporting to you where your inefficiencies exist.
You're absolutely right. You've got to teach the cameras know better than there's no substitute for the human eye, as I like to say, in terms, especially a good human eye of the best performers at dealerships on the front lines. If you can get the camera to recognize what they would with their eyes, the problem is they can't be everywhere the camera is at once.
No,
And so if you can get the camera to
do what you
recognize
want
what
it to
you
do.
want, and then, yeah, like you say, do automate what you want. Type all this
Yeah.
out for me redundantly. What if we took all the human tasks that are redundant and tedious, and we could, with what's marry that with what's really going on in the action that the camera sees and the timing, eliminate the gap that exists between the timing of the software completion and where it's really at. If we automate some of that, we can trim massive amounts of time off transactions in variable and fixed.
Well, surely that impacts customer experience. I mean, that is what everybody is looking to do: save time at the dealership, whether it's service or sales. How is this technology going to impact customer experience, or what have you seen so far?
They want really the same things for both variable and fixed. They want speed, convenience, and transparency. Sometimes they want to see it, not read it or hear it. So we see that sometimes the customer will have one store that says, hey, when the vehicle comes off the lift for
Okay.
express, show the vehicle driving out, say, great news, you're just off the lift. And the customer says, ah, yes, I can see behind the curtain. I get a peek. It's something that I wouldn't see if I'm at a franchise, not an independent. At another dealership we mentioned earlier, when it's going through that, hey, that's my vehicle going through the car wash. They can calm down and say, okay, it probably is going to be another 20 minutes, but they're making progress. They're washing my car, which they wouldn't be doing at an independent. So the transparency
Hmm.
is is something that's going to resonate with the customer perception of our industry in our opinion, and we think that what the camera can capture and deliver has already been proven with
Yeah, it's
video.
really
Look
neat.
at how many videos have to be sent from the CRM to drive a lead down the funnel. As you know, look at how much video affects the upsell rate on MPI activity.
Absolutely.
All of that. Now, what if you could organically collect what's going on and give the customer pieces and chain that together